Boom, we live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to F.A.W.B. I am your host, Naughty Nate. And on today's episode, I have Daryl Hatchett, man. Somebody that's been in the fight game for over 15 years. He's a fight promoter. He's a fight manager. He's a fight trainer. He was a competitor. This is a longtime veteran of the game. I'm very lucky to have him on the show with me tonight. He's coming to us all the way from Atlanta. But before we get to Daryl, just like to put out there, guys, that the show's looking for sponsorship. So if there's any sponsors out there in the area that's would like to, partner up with us and be a part of the show, reach out to me. There's also a way that you guys can help support the show on your own, and that's subscribing to the Facebook. If you become a subscriber to my Facebook, all the proceeds go to the show and help uplift all the content. But yeah, getting to the show now, let me invite on Mr. Daryl Hatchett. Hey, brother, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, yeah, it's going well, man. So, Mr. Daryl Hatchett, man, let's give us a little bit of some background as to how you got involved in martial arts and what kind of brought you to where we are today.
Well, you said 15 years. It's actually been maybe about 35 years or so.
35? I was going off of 15 years of management. That's what I was going
That's
off.
what it
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
all right. 35 years as a martial artist.
Yes.
Oh wow. Wow.
I started off with point karate. Did real good there. Got my black belt there too at a young age.
I started off in karate. That's awesome.
Yeah. Wrestled through school, and then I got off into, when I got out of high school, ended up getting more into kickboxing, which was kind of natural to me because of my karate background. And it went from there. I had won a lot. I won a few titles there as well. All the way up until when UFC came out.
So and around like early 90s, late 90s, somewhere around there?
Early 90s. That's when I said, okay, that's what I want to do. I mean, I could use all my skills in one. I just didn't know too much jiu-jitsu. But I ended up finally, I had the best kickboxing trainer ever. Okay, his name was Kevin McClinton. I came from the best kickboxing gym that was in the area called Super Kick at that time. So everybody that came out of that gym became champions. But he ended up passing, and I had to end up finding another place. If you know, I'm sure you know, Mr. Shoney Carter, Mr. International.
I'm actually unfamiliar with that, but I'll definitely look him up. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people out there do know him.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, he fought in UFC and all that stuff. Well, anyway, he used to come up to my gym and for his striking training and whatever. And I used to more or less train with him. And he was like, oh, you're good. You ought to do some MMA. You ought to do some cage fighting. And that's what I wanted to do. But see, my trainer at the time, he was kind of against it, So I'll try to be loyal to him and whatever. And but anyway, when he ended up,
do you know passing, do you know why he was against it?
He was all kickboxing.
That's actually a great point you bring up. Yeah, that's a great point, because there's a lot of these kind of older traditional guys that are kind of like pretty grounded in their sport, in their particular style. And they're like, yeah, no, I don't mess with that other crap. And that's pretty normal. Like, I know some really high level martial artists that are the same way.
Yes. Yeah. And to make a long story short, I ended up hooking up with Shoney, and he introduced me to a guy named Master Bob Shermer. And from that point, they was already very impressed with my kickboxing skills and my wrestling. And he just wanted to turn me into a jiu-jitsu guy too. But I more or less went to him because, your first discipline, no matter what you've done, your first discipline is always going to be your comfort zone. So, if I'm fighting and everything's included, I'm standing up. That's what I'm comfortable at. So
I'm the same way, man. And I'm I got So I say I'm a forever a white belt because I have a history where I kind of lost some of my lineage. But prior to me giving up a lot of my ranking, I was a
Mhm.
belt with 4 stripes on my way to being a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the Pedro Sauer system. So I'm pretty fairly experienced in the ground game as well as having some judo and wrestling experience. But if I
Yes.
had like, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, you always resort back to what you're most comfortable and familiar with, and that for me was karate as well. So if I have an option to, get back up and strike with the guy, that's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Yeah, that's some experience for you guys right there. Yeah, that's great insight.
Yeah. And when I ended up getting it with Bob, he was moving me pretty quickly. He's pretty impressed with it. I didn't even learn too much jiu-jitsu before he started throwing me in like martial art, more or less Pancrasian tournaments, nationals,
Hmm.
and Pan Am games. I won all of them. Um, so then I even got an invitation. Well, after the Pan Am game, they were supposed to be making the Olympics. That's like in 2004, I believe. It didn't make it to Olympics, but I did get to get Pan Am gold and all that stuff too.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah. After that, I started getting a lot of good opportunity. Even UFC when they was making that first show, The Ultimate Fighter.
Hmm.
You know, they had an invite for to try out for that. Um, but during that time, I had another fight coming up before that part, and I was going to do that fight and then go to the house, what they call it, and
Hmm.
but at that time, I ended up getting injured, not in the fight, but training for the fight. you know,
All too common.
and it
Yeah.
was serious. It was a serious shoulder injury, and yeah, that I lost all of that. It
Yeah.
took too much time and too much off of me, So I just decided, well, hell, if I can't get there, I just help other people get there.
Is that
you
when
know,
you? Yeah. Is that kind of what made you decide to want to go down the
yeah.
manager route? Did you decide
Well,
to
no, the
maybe
trainer
you were a
first.
trainer
I wasn't even
first?
thinking of
Okay.
managing. Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I wanted to train people, and
Hmm.
I've won a couple of trainer year awards. Um, but
That's
yeah, that was
awesome.
my thing. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of got a little bit popular in Florida, and then I started even matchmaking a couple of shows here and there.
Mhm.
That's how I ended up somehow getting, the management job. It was never planned. You know what I mean? It
Uh-huh.
just happened because everybody wanted to, be involved with, what I was doing.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, you seem like a stand-up guy, and if it's in this game, sometimes it's hard to trust people,
oh,
because they
very.
want to they want to use your body, right?
Yeah.
They just want to throw you against anybody. So when you meet an individual that is a stand-up guy and has been through the process that may be able to mentor you a little bit, you are going to get a lot of people that flock to you. I mean, depending on what your reputation is, and it seems like you've developed a good reputation for others to want to come and seek you out.
Right. I mean, you always have them haters out there. you know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
got to have them. You have to have them,
Yeah. If you're
but
doing something right, yeah, you're
yeah.
gonna have haters for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
man.
I had it hard at first, especially when I first moved to Florida and whatever.
Mhm.
People, because I was coming from somewhere that everybody else didn't know. You had all the other trainers that it was all like in groups and stuff like that. And who is this
Mhm.
guy? He coming like that, all my guys, short, real fast too. Let's say not even a couple years after I started my gym and whatever. Had guys out there winning championships and all that. And,
Mhm.
it was my style of training that I felt. And, yeah, I mean, but it was hard. I had everybody they try to
I was
dog
gonna say,
me.
yeah, you're breaking
Oh
into something
man,
that's already established as an outsider,
yeah,
especially when it comes to martial arts, as it can be very tribalism, right?
yes,
Especially like some of these old school type things where it's like almost culty, like our art or our style is the best style, and it makes
yes,
sense when you're
yes,
dealing with competition. But also, like, from martial artist to martial artist, I'm not a threat to you guys. I'm here trying to share in on the passion of martial arts. uh
okay.
yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from when you say it was difficult to break into. When did you kind of first know that you had a really good hold uh, in that field? When did you kind of was it the awards or
Well,
was it like before that?
dealing with fighters all the time, matchmake. I used to matchmake for about 6 or 7 years, and just constantly dealing with fighters, getting to know them, and knowing people too, like old school people. A lot of them like is promoters that knew me too. It's
Mm-hmm.
just knowing everybody,
Mm.
and
Yeah, just getting out there,
if
connection.
if they like you, then you can do good business with them. So
That's true. And part
mhm,
of them liking you is you being reliable and you meaning what you say. I mean, there's actual action behind your words. So that I
yeah.
mean that's testament to your character, sir. Uh
Right.
what would you say is one of some of the primary differences of being a fighter trainer and a fight manager? Or would you say that they often are kind of like one and the same?
Almost, because I end up having to train like a lot of my guys, even the guys that got gyms or training too. They getting something out of me anyway.
Hmm.
Um, Managing, like I was saying, it's harder because when you bring in fighters in, you don't know them much. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Only thing you know is what they telling you, especially the new guys. So it gets kind of hard, and you get a lot of, like I said, they come in all type of characters, all type of liars. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
You don't find that out until they get in there, and
Uh,
But I think some of them truly think they could get in there and
well,
without no training or whatever too.
yeah,
So,
that's a very common misconception of
yeah,
fans or fight fans. I mean, it being a trained martial artist, how many guys out there that never trained a day in their life but think that like, hey, as soon as I see red, it's over, man. Bodies will start dropping on the floor just
yeah.
because they're angry or something.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes, yes. I've
it's
seen
it
some
is.
of them.
Yeah, I
I, I
bet.
had to get rid of them too, quick.
Yeah. Do you ever
So,
feel like that's I guess some kind of do you feel any obligation to, I guess, prevent them or kind of like step in and be like, "Hey man, this isn't, this isn't meant for you or you're not cut out for this or
yes,
maybe you're
yes,
not doing what you should
yes.
be
And I've
doing?"
done that a lot of times. I give you a chance.
Mhm.
Your first fight with me is your chance. Therefore, I get to see what you have. You fight your heart, your toughness and all that stuff. I'm not even really looking at whether you win or lose. I just want to see what you got.
I
If it
like
doesn't
it.
look like you're supposed to be in there at all, now we have to have another talk. I can't do it until you get some
Mhm.
training or whatever. But I can only go on what a lot of you guys is telling me.
Mhm.
'Cause, you can't really find too much on them and whatever, because they making their debuts and stuff like that. So
Right.
only thing I can do, and I call it that, just talent searching.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
you don't make the cut. I mean, you're not gonna last that long.
That's true.
Yeah.
So when you do see some of these guys that audition for you to be their manager, what exactly are you looking for? You mentioned that you're looking for not always skill, but like their heart too. Like is it the
Hard and tough.
willingness to get in there and exchange
Because I
or
know
what is
those
it you're looking
guys,
for?
if they coming in new, just think
Mhm.
when they get to really, really training, you know. I have guys, and this is when I was training too, because I was matchmaking, tell me that, oh wow, I trained with this guy, I trained this guy, UFC guys, um, and he wanted to fight. So I could just go by what he's saying. It's amateur, whatever. I say, okay, I got you. Somebody did vouch for me, and that was who that crazy horse. That's
Yeah.
one of the guys who's supposed to be training with.
Oh
But
wow.
because of right now, he only trained with him for about a couple of weeks. But when that guy got in there, boy, I mean, he started wrecking people, winning championships after
Mhm.
championships. I eventually got him into a good gym. Matter of fact, he started training with Fusion Excel before they were Fusion
Oh.
Excel too. Matter of fact,
Mhm.
he the one I would say made them, because he was like their first champion, multiple champion. But yeah, he came right off the streets, right out of, right out of jail.
Yeah, some of these guys just have it,
Yeah,
man. They're just
yeah,
built different, right?
yeah,
Gee, all right. Maybe you give us some insight on this. Fighters and promoters tend to have like a rocky relationship sometimes.
yeah.
Um, you being the kind of the middleman between that,
That's the
what do you
hard
think
part.
makes a good relationship between the fighter and the promoter?
Show up. No shows. They don't know. That's the worst thing you can do. Actually, I mean, you could really make a bad name for yourself. Everything kind of show up what you're doing on topology and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to see a whole bunch of canceled fights in a row. And I noticed that one of our friends had that, later.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Um,
Go ahead, go ahead. You're
I
saying?
try to, like I said, I try to mentor these guys. And sometimes, like I said, new guys don't understand some of the stuff. They don't understand the business and what they do and what happens when these guys miss fights and whatever. What happens with their opponents. The promoter lose money and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They get pissed at me, so I gotta take the flak for when you do that crazy shit.
Yeah,
So no, I mean I'm totally 100% against that. I need 100% reliable guy. But this is not a perfect world. Sometimes you run into some bad seeds out there.
for sure. And
Mm.
things do happen. I mean, I think
Yeah.
everybody is human and everybody makes mistakes. I think it's about, like you said, it's about how consistent you are, though. And you mentioned earlier, yeah, we came into connection due to a past guest I had on this show, Joey
Mhm.
Clayson. He mentioned that you were his manager, and that turns out to be not be the case. That you are
Yeah.
not his manager. I just want to get that out there
You can't
for
have two. You
everybody
can't
that's
have
out
two
there.
managers.
Yeah, yeah, you can't.
They come on somewhere and say you got two managers, and neither of us really. I don't know. Like I
Yeah,
said, I don't know about the other guy, but no. After the
yeah,
incident that I've seen, no, Joey had been. Oh, I can't. But no.
yeah. And this is a
I
good
think
example, like you're
yeah,
saying, of how reputations could follow you. And
yes, yes.
yeah, you got to be careful. It's not a huge community. It's really not when it comes to the fight community. As you
Mhm.
know, having been in multiple places, the community in a fight community is fairly small. I mean, there's
Yep.
not too many people that really want to get in there and put their health on a line and allow another human being to punch them and kick them in the face. Like that just
Yep.
takes a different type of individual. So when you are around these types of individuals, we tend to know each other, or at least heard of each other. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, you start to get a bad reputation, then it's damn near older for you. It's over for you.
Yes. And then, like I said, when you get that bad reputation and then you come on and say stuff and then put other people's name in it, that makes them you know have give them a bad name.
Hmm. Have you had
So
any past experiences like that where you've had competitors kind of, I guess, throw you under the bus and be like, well, you got to talk to my or go
oh
through my
they
manager,
do that
stuff
all the
like that?
time. They
Yeah.
do that all the time. On both sides, either the manager or the promoter. We're the middleman, so everything goes to us. So
Yeah. And how do you I guess handle so many different personalities? Cuz like I was mentioning to you earlier when we weren't live, I coach a competition team with, anywhere between 9 and 12 competitors that are active throughout the year. And I mean, it
Mhm.
gets exhausting for me dealing with 9 to 12 different personalities and problems and situations and whatnot. You handle a vastly much more pool of individuals. I mean, you manage close to 100 people.
Yeah.
How do you deal with all those personalities, and how often are you clashing with these individuals?
Really, I think it's a gift. Really, because a lot of
I
people
would
ask
say
me
so.
how do I do that? Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I know how to. It's like adapting, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been around. I've seen a little bit of everything. As a fighter, you see all type of people, and you had to deal with all type of stuff. I grew up in the hood, so
Hmm.
I don't get
That
intimidated or
helps.
anything
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really get too many people that disrespect. Unless I throw them off the team or something like that, they might come back and
Mhm.
try to disrespect. But I don't have anything negative to say about me or what I do. That's why
Mhm.
my reputation means something.
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
and you've earned that, sir. I mean, if nobody's saying too many, negative stuff about you, and you've been in the game this long, then I mean, you've earned that.
yeah.
That's a solid reputation there.
You
What
send
kind of
a
advice? Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, you haven't seen. Well, you would understand how many people I've seen that try to do this. What I'm doing, managers, and don't last no time. you
Oh,
know.
I would
But
imagine
yeah,
so. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
What would you say is some of the biggest challenges that someone that is in your position has to go through?
Um, it's making sure that everybody, is doing what they're supposed to do, and making sure they make these fights and
Hmm.
whatnot. Some, like I said, some people. I'm being a manager. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like a marriage counselor. I'm all type
Yeah,
of counselor.
much
Everybody
like
come to
being
me
a
with
coach.
their problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know. It's all pretty challenging, but I love what I do. I love the fight game. This is the number one passion I have. And like I said, if I'm not fighting now, I definitely want to stay part of it
Yeah,
and
and you
help other
found a
people.
way to do that. That's amazing. When you're managing some of these individuals that are at other gyms, are you the are you directly in contact, I guess, with their trainers and their coaches if you're not
Some of
foreseeing
them,
their training?
yeah, some of them. I mean,
Mhm.
some of their coaches. I mean, I work with them too. And they help
Yeah.
me out a lot as well.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah. I mean, I respect that. I'd rather do that too because a lot of times a fighter tell you anything, and
Yeah,
the
they
coaches will
will.
tell you exactly what it is, and
Mhm.
what they're doing wrong, and what they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'd rather kind of communicate with their coaches as well.
Yeah, I would imagine you would have better relations with the people that are training these individuals than
Um,
necessarily the individual themselves, even though you're representing them. Just because, like you said, people they want to always say that they're giving their best, effort, I guess, because a lot of people don't want to like outwardly look like they're lying, But as a coach, when your competitor or your student isn't fulfilling their obligations, whether that's training multiple times a week, the
mhm,
weight cuts, the financial end of it sometimes, like, hey, your trainer's not paying for it. I mean, your who is what do you call your fighter? I guess your fighter isn't paying for his training
yeah.
or something. Do they come to you for that stuff, or is that something they work out between each other?
And it's all the above.
Everything,
Someone
everything.
someone will try to come to me with for it. But one thing I do offer training as well to everybody. 'Cause I do a lot of virtual type of
Uh-huh.
stuff too. And so because I don't want anybody to have an excuse that they can't train or they're not getting any training and stuff like that. So yes, you are. You're gonna
Hey,
come
that's
on here. We're
awesome.
gonna do everything. We're gonna do everything together. you know.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I love that, man. I mean, you're a manager that's just not sitting there,
um,
placing people like some kind of promoter. You're actually trying to help people grow as competitors and be like, hey, man, I'll actually go and put my feet in the fire with you if I need to help try to give you the best chance of success.
right.
I think that may be what, puts you above a lot of, the other individuals that try to be managers,
Yeah.
because you're
I've been
actually more
everything.
active. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been the fighter, the trainer, the promoter, manager. So I know how everybody think.
Mhm.
So that helps.
Yeah. So if you have a young fighter that's looking to make this fighting their career and their lifestyle and all that, what kind of advice would you give him? To a young guy right out the gate.
For one, if you could, you want to surround yourself with some positive. You want, if it's not your coach, you do want a manager or something. So because the manager know how to guide you. They have the connections with the promoters as well. That's better than you could probably ever get. You'll get some fights, but a lot of times when you go in alone, um, some of the promoters they use you for food, feed you to
Mhm. They
time
will.
guys or whatever, and they will do that.
Mhm.
But that's mostly all promoters. They need to make their money. They need to please they money makers. You know what I mean?
They need to
It's
put
hard to
asses in
yeah,
seats, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, you want somebody that can look over that, and make sure that, you are getting a fair shot at it.
Hmm.
You know, that's what I do. I make sure you get that fair shot. That your record's the same, same amount of fights or whatever. But if you get your ass kicked, that's on you because you ain't trained as hard as they are, you know.
Yeah.
So, the fight is going to be fair, but it's never going to be unfair, advantage
Mhm.
type fight.
And that's really important when you're getting, especially as you're climbing the ranks and getting up to like that pro scene.
Yeah.
Amateur scene, like you said, you get a variety. It's all over the place. But when you hit the pros, damn near everybody's good. And
Yeah.
you got low end pros that are like just like you said, food, I guess, that are just fighting for a paycheck. And then you got
That's
guys that are
exactly what
taking this really serious. Yeah.
exactly. And
So
then you
you
got
have
guys that can't
connection.
get a break. They
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
talent, but they keep getting put in with these guys that they shouldn't even be in at that time.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
whether it's a disadvantage of fighting style, a reach, or whatever it is. Yeah,
right.
some fights are just bad fights for competitors.
Exactly.
You have a involvement with the BKFC and the Flex Fight Series, is that correct?
And then some.
And then
Yes.
some. Yeah, those are the two
Hmm.
bigger ones that I found in my research. How
Hmm.
did you get involved with them? Just throughout the years of
Um,
meeting and knowing people?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've known Flex, well, the promoter Chris Matchy for about 4 years now. Really,
Mhm,
really, really cool guy. We're friends. Um, for BKFC, BYB, I've been there to both brands since the beginning. Matter of fact, I helped both bands get started. I had a bunch of fighters on both of them, especially BKB.
oh, wow.
Um, Lorenzo Hunt, the Juggernaut, he was the guy that I brought in. Um,
Jeez. Yeah, you do know some people, that's for sure, man.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But I don't know. Me and Dad had been friends, and I remember he used to tell me, he for one, he used to, he got that backyard thing going on. I really didn't want
Mhm.
to touch that. I watch it, but I don't want my name in it. Well, put it give you guys or whatever. But he was telling me that he got this trigon thing he's gonna make and stuff, and he's gonna make it legal and stuff like that. I'm thinking, there's no fucking way,
Mhm.
no fucking way that's gonna happen to myself. Um, See, about a couple years later, he tell me, man, I got this thing going on. It's gonna be in Wyoming. I need some fighters. So I'm like, okay, it's legal and everything, right? So
He's all,
yeah, the Ransom
what?
was one of the guys I brought. Matter of fact, that's where he was supposed to have been fighting at. But yeah, I think what it was is BKB ended up letting BKFC surpass them. They should be in
Mm,
that. You know what I mean?
mm.
You can't procrastinate. You gotta keep moving. You got competition right there, man. You gotta keep
That's
moving.
it, yeah. Yeah, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's what I always tell,
Exactly.
a lot of the gyms around here, just because when it comes to martial arts, people fall off for any reason. So we constantly have
Exactly.
to be getting more people involved. Uh,
Right.
since you've been around the sport for so long, you've kind of seen the evolution of how where it started to where it is now.
Yes,
How do you feel social media has played a part in that? Because I kind of feel like to
man.
get a big time fight, you got to have some notoriety
Yes.
nowadays, and
And
it's
they
more
didn't have it
about
when I was fighting. They didn't
yeah,
have that when I was
exactly,
fighting.
yeah.
So, but yeah, social media does wonders. It helps people get a good fan base, make
Mhm.
good money. You know, I wish they had it when I was fighting. That's all I can say.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing people that aren't as talented getting,
Mhm.
money fights, getting better opportunity because they
Yes,
have that wider reach. And like you said, promoters are looking to put asses in seats. And sometimes when people come to watch a particular competitor, they may not come to watch him because of his talent. They may come to watch him because of his outside the ring antics or the
Yes.
character that he is.
Yes.
Do you promote that as a manager? Do you promote your guys to use the social media to, maybe do characters or,
Yes.
I guess
Little
podcasts and
character.
stuff like that?
Yes. Yes. We do a podcast too, so
Mhm.
I try to make sure everybody get out there or whatever. And then and then other people like to bring them on too. And I send some to you if you want some. I got some real
Yeah,
talented
yeah,
guys.
I'm definitely gonna be on it. Yeah, if you're gonna invite me, thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
talking to send some guys to you as well.
I hope you do. I
Uh,
mean, I'm all
yeah.
for it. Like I said, I'm the whole purpose between or for me starting forever a white belt here is to meet like-minded individuals, fellow
Mhm.
martial artists. I've been in martial arts for 28 years.
Mhm.
I've done it since I was a kid. I started out in karate. I've been a competitor. I've done cage fighting. The MMA. I've been active in the Scrapyard, which is the backyard fight organization. I've been doing that
Right.
for the last 2 years, and I'm a head coach over at a gym, Columbia River Jiu Jitsu. Yeah. So if I can help the fight community and help independent fighters or whoever kind of elevate, then yeah, I would love to do that for sure. So send them my
Yeah.
way, man.
That's exactly what I try to do as well.
Mhm.
The talent searching. you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's great. I love it. And like I said, I've seen people get used in this game. I've seen people get abused in this game.
Oh
And
yeah.
much like yourself, I I would like to help try to steer some of the younger people away from some of that stuff and be like, hey, there's another route you can take. I don't think you necessarily have to go through all the dog fights like it used to be. You had to fight every single thing, everybody, everywhere at any time. I think
Yeah.
now with social media, I think if you play things right and you make a name for yourself and you get the right fights, I think that you
Yeah.
can get your name out there and really do something in this.
Exactly. It's more or less of understanding the business. That's what they need to do. You're not gonna get rid of the dirty stuff. It's always gonna be that
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff. But you got to know how to deal with it and get around it. And just think about what you're doing with your career and get past it. You're not gonna get rid of it, no matter how much you complain about it.
Yeah,
Just keep,
that's
just
true.
keep it, just keep it moving, and just try to stay out of it. That's all.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
like that. Heck, man. Shoot. All right. Let's talk about the any you want to do any or let us know what one of your fighters that you feel has been the most underrated fighter that you've managed so far. Is there anybody out there in particular?
yeah, yeah, I got a few of them.
You want to name them, throw
Well,
them
I,
out?
I have some fighters coming up,
Good.
as well, and I got some fighters that has a big name as well. I've done some things. I think they overrated because people don't understand what they have done. I have a guy that I work with, um, Naldo Silva.
Mhm.
He been doing some. He just fought on Tough Enough, but he be doing bare knuckle as well, and he has a record of 29-6
Oh
MMA.
wow.
And like I said, he's very, very underrated.
Mhm.
I even worked with Rafael Cavillo. He's former Bellator champ and
Mhm.
whatever. And like I said, I think he should be really making some really good money because of who he was. And he had that belt for a while.
Yeah.
And you know, I have a few people. I got some guys coming up
Mhm.
too. They just got to they get it. But like I
And you
said,
think
it's come to that you gotta be able to sell yourself too. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, and I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that it comes down to some of that notoriety, right? Where it's
Yes.
like you can be a top tier talent guy, but if nobody knows your name, then it's kind of like how do you get these money fights? And that's the business end of it, I guess. And that's kind of like the benefit too for a lot of these independent fighters out there. That is one of the major benefits of having a manager in your corner is that you have somebody to really handle the business end of this as you pursue through this and make this your career, you're going to want to know the business end of it. You're going to want to know when you're getting a fair shake. And that's the
Right.
whole purpose for a gentleman like Daryl Hatchett here, to help you kind of weave through those situations, because he's been in the game for a long time. So he's looking out for you to make sure that you're not getting used and abused by some, promoter that's just trying to fill some seats. I think that that's a wonderful thing that you're doing, Daryl. What do you have coming up in the near future? Whether it's fight promotions or particular fighters you want to shout out? What do we got?
Well, this weekend coming up, I have probably a good 10 guys fighting on Flex. I
Oh
don't want to
wow.
name them all,
Yeah,
but I
no,
want to
that's
give a
fine.
shout out to all of you guys.
We got an
And
event coming up this weekend for Flex Fight Series. Make sure you guys tune in for that.
I got a couple of people fighting on ROH. Not
RH,
no, not RH, ROC. Sorry about that. I'm thinking
ROC,
about
okay.
Ring of Combat. I got some bare knuckle stuff coming up.
Always got something, man.
Yes,
Jeez.
in January, and then little other stuff in between.
I
Other
love it.
promotions. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So what's next for the management of champions? You got anything in the foreseeable future that you're doing different, or are you just gonna keep trugging forward with everything you got going on?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Little change, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of stuff that I see. I'm going to, no matter how many years that I've been in this, I see stuff and I'm still learning as well. I see other different stuff that I could, do to put my talent to use. And
Hmm.
it's just, I don't know. I just got to make time to do all this stuff, maybe hire
All
a couple
right.
of assistants and stuff like that. But yeah,
Hey, if
there's
you're
definitely going
getting
to
to
be a
that
change.
point.
And I will be opening up my new promotion soon.
All right.
So
I love it. I love
yeah.
to hear it, Daryl. Well, when you get that thing going, you get your new promotion, we'll have to reconnect so we can try to, get some advertising out for it, and maybe get some of these Northwest fighters over there to compete in it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is any of these you Northwest fighter want to take a trip for free? Just go out there and fight. You get to stay on Airbnb and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
Because even with Flex, I'm like one of the matchmakers there too. So I bring in like most of the guys from the outside. And yeah, hit me up and I'll get you going.
Heck yeah.
You have a really good experience. Everybody love it.
Hell
Even if
yeah.
they go there and lose, they love the experience.
Yeah, who doesn't love a trip? Is that for
Yeah.
amateur and pro?
Amateur and pro, kickboxing
Amateur and
or,
pro.
or MMA.
All right. And how can they find you, Daryl?
Um, Daryl Hatchett on Facebook
Mhm.
or management_of_champions on Instagram. And I have a TikTok too. I forget to. I just
No
made it not
worries.
too long ago. So yeah, but they'll find me there too.
Perfect. I'm gonna be sure to add you to the tag of this podcast. So yeah, guys, if you're out there, you're watching this, and you would like to, take a match over on the East Coast, or if you'd like to speak with Daryl here to possibly get into some kind of management agreement or whatever, he's willing to help you and lend a hand. So be sure to reach out to him. Daryl, I'd like to thank you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day today and doing a little podcast with me.
Okay, anytime, bro. Anytime.
Yeah. All right, man. You have a good night. We'll see you later. All right.
Take care.
All right. Bye.